Time for the BW3 show, brought to you by Schaefer's Oil, as we are joined by Brennan Willard on the heels of Turkey Bowl 2025. What an event.
Wow.
Just a mass of people, a mass of cars in Springfield, and wow, just an amazing I don't know how to describe it, really. It's something that you don't see in the United States very often.
No, and we talked about it on this show last week. Kyle and I went to the first one just as fans. And I remember going to, honestly, probably ended up going to 90% of the Turkey Bowls as a fan until 2019. Just hanging out and, I always had, buddies racing or, Tony be racing, Michael Stake will be racing. I remember taking Braden, he'd been one, and sitting in a dually watching the races, and it was cold, but he was fine. We were in the dually in the truck, watching the races in the truck on the back straightaway where he was pitted. And I think there's probably 150 cars there. And it was, we were talking about how big an event that was. And that was 2015, 16 timeframe. And, I've been a part of a lot of big events. I mean, crown jewel races, snowball derby, just went to a lot of places. And I've never seen that many cars anywhere. And it's 527, I think, was the last official count of entries for the week. And that is the second largest event entry-wise in the United States now. And I think what's cool about it is I don't see it getting anything but bigger. And, Jerry took a risk there at the first one, and everybody thought he was crazy. But it's really just turned into just an event and a lot of fun. We had fun. We practiced every night after the races and just took it in as a race fan. I don't remember the last time I sat at the races and watched races as a race fan in a long time. So for us, it was pretty cool. Just watching the A-Mod races Friday night were incredible. Those races, both sets of heats, were just some of the best racing I've ever seen. And it was telling Hoffman, it's kind of like the Chili Bowl. Everybody loves going to the Chili Bowl because you can get there especially on Saturday, the Chili Bowl, you get there at noon and watch racing till midnight, 12 hours of racing. And I mean, nonstop. They take track prep breaks to get the track reworked, but pretty much nonstop. And, man, this was just incredible what he had going. And it was exciting to be a part of it. And I'm still blown away. I think everybody's still exhausted from the week that, didn't stay at the track or just, we come back, left our hauler down there, but I had to come back and work every day. So it was, I'd work, go to the racetrack, get home at 2:00 in the morning, go back to work. And, man, what an event. What a fun week.
Well, to mark the start of the racing year, you've got, of course, the Daytona 500, basically. This is kind of the end of the year racing extravaganza, at least for the Midwest, isn't it?
It is. And, the Dome in St. Louis is kind of like I don't even know what that is. It's just an event, I guess, is what you would call it. And just everybody just comes to kind of celebrate the end of the year. And I feel like it's almost like a Christmas party, for everybody. But this is the last real race, especially for the Dome's just late models and UMP or A mods, where, the Turkey Bowl is everything, from street stocks to Legends cars to pure stocks to Midwest mod, every kind of mod you can think of. And it was just, and I didn't get to watch much of the A-Mod feature, but the other features, all the features were good races. It was just really good racetracks, really wide, and the weather was obviously perfect this week, but man, what an event.
As far as area competitors, Mark Simon of Buffalo, he won the Midwest Mods A-Class feature. Jim Chisholm from Osage, Iowa, he won the A-Mod. And then the guy we had on our show last week, Kyle Steffens, came in fourth. And then he was battling Kenny Schrader also in one of the later races. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. They had a really good race there in that feature. And Kyle had a good run. I think that may have been his fourth or fifth modified race of the year, but they put a lot of effort forward. And like he said, at the end of the night, it's
probably his favorite race of the year, turning into his favorite race of the year for the mod. Just loves coming there and being able to race all over the racetrack. And what's cool about that event is Jerry takes that racetrack. You're able to take a UMP car versus a USRA car versus an IMCA car. So you got all three sanctioning bodies of modifieds blended together in rules that really work. And, the late models too, like Sawyer Krigler one with open everything but a 525 crate motor, just started out front and just kicked our ass. So pretty cool that you can take a, blend the rules together at that racetrack. It's so momentum based that you don't need a lot of motor and you can really, really put on a great show, no matter what kind of car you got. So it's really equalize. Everybody's pretty equal and just a lot of fun.
You came in 11th in the feature.
Yeah, so it was a passing points format, but if you won your heat, you were locked in.
And you won a heat.
Yeah, we drew a 3, which good and bad. You're out front, so that's a double-edged sword. Like I think we talked about on the show, the last couple of years, you get tore up. If you start in the back of the heat, you get that risk. But if you start in the back of the heat, you can go forward. And we really worked hard on our race car for the last 2 weeks, just really dialing this car in. And I felt like the heat race kind of showed that. Like we were pretty dominant there and really maintained, just watching my stick guy every lap just to make sure did not. I mean, I've been out front before in heat races there and blew a right rear tire. And like, I just kept having flashbacks, like don't pound the cushion too hard. And then at that point, trying to decide lap cars, we caught lap traffic there. I think we had to restart like 5 to go and then caught a lap car coming to the white and 2 of them and just trying to make sure that you don't make a mistake, be thorough, just make sure you get into the show. And then I have nothing against passing points. It is what it is. It's just when we started 9th and the track was reworked, beautiful. It was perfect. And I think I was 3 wide for the first 10 laps of the feature and never could get singled out. Just couldn't go anywhere. And like, it's a compliment to the racetrack. Like we could not go anywhere. I know other drivers were talking like, my gosh, we were side by side and couldn't go nowhere. I'm like, yeah, where do you get to do that? Like, it's pretty awesome. You're just trying to move around and the top line was going and the bottom would come in. And it was just, it was pretty fun, really. Just, I knew when we went green, I did not, I just didn't have the steering I needed. And like I said, just stuck on the bottom for 5 or 6 laps. And Terry Phillips was to my outside and I looked up to him my whole life. So the last thing I'm doing is dooring him to move up. And, so I wasn't going to do that. And, but I was hoping for another caution or 2. I think we had 1 caution and the A-mod race went caution free. It's just incredible. You have 70, there was literally 70 late models there. It's unbelievable. And just unheard of. And to have the show we did early in the night, I'm happy with that. And kind of a good way to close out 2025 and give us some momentum going into 26. Because I felt like we struggled there late in the year. We got this new car and really worked hard on it. And big thanks to everybody at Algeier Performance and Tim Baker up there on the shock end. And just, we really worked hard the last 3 weeks. Just Tim Douglas, Tim Baker, Tony Jackson, and myself, we've busted our ass on this program and really working hard to develop something for 2025. And I'm pretty, or 2026, sorry. And I'm pretty excited to what I feel like we got. So we got momentum and that's the best race car I've had at Springfield in a year and a half. And that was exciting because, you got a good race car at Springfield, you can make some stuff happen. And we were able to do that early in the night and just should have ran a little bit better in the feature, but that's okay. We didn't tear anything up. And in fact, I don't even think I need to put it. I was told my shop guy, Tyler, was like, man, I really like the looks of this car. I want the right side of it. I'm like, perfect. It's got off brand that I don't use. I'm a 5-star sponsored driver and I don't run any of it being with their product, but this thing had a non-5-star door on it. So I was like, can't run that anyway, so you can have it. And I'm like looking at him like, thing's perfect for spare. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But it worked out. Just a good weekend and happy to kind of end the year on that. And get ready for 2026. It's just huge announcement next week. MLRA is coming back, and I'm excited about that. Obviously, been talking to Ernie for a couple of weeks and knew this was coming, but man, that's big for our area. Having MLRA back, and going to be some exciting dates coming for them, and I'm sure Jerry and Ernie will come on the show and talk about it. But a lot of things going on in our area to be excited about. And if that don't 70 late models for an open late model race in Springfield, Missouri is pretty awesome.
How many laps was the A-Main?
30, which I'm all for. Like, when you get an event that big, there's no reason for a 50-lap feature or a 40-lap feature, and it didn't pay, it paid $6,000 to win, $6,023 to win. So, he did an awesome tribute to Nick Bradshaw, and pretty cool that they did the Bang Banger race was, the Nick Bradshaw Memorial for them, and that was cool. And but the race doesn't need to pay any more than that. It's the trophy that everybody's there for anyways. And you talked about the Daytona 500 is kind of the way to start the year, right? Well, this for our guys, and I think a lot of people use that as, hey, we can take all the knowledge we've learned all year long, and we've had usually you got a couple weeks off to prepare for this, and then test a little bit for a couple nights, hang out, watch the races, and see what you got. So it was nice to do that, and pretty cool to see Terry Phillips with a top 3. He's been really running well since he's gotten this Longhorn, and I'm happy for him. I grew up watching Terry and Bill Fry, and went to a lot of MLRA and Mars races with those two. Just a lot of Mars races years ago. Just those were wars between the 66 and 75. So to see that car up front again, where it belongs, is we want to beat him every night so he can run behind us, but we can be up front with him, and it's cool just to race with Terry again, and had a lot of fun there.
When you beat somebody like that, it's meaningful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it doesn't matter if they're, it just, Terry's just, to me, the Richard Petty of around here. His dad is, in my opinion, the greatest race car driver there ever was. And, this isn't, Terry's just a stud, and he's really good. And I know we were talking at, there was a Mars race. Bab won his 20th or 30th Mars race, and he's moving up on the list, but Terry's in like 93 or something ridiculous, 5-time Mars champion, almost 100 Mars wins, over 100 MLRA wins. It's like, good Lord, like he's done a lot. And so anytime you can race with him, you're good. And it was cool. I do want to, give some prayers and everything to Jesse Stovall. It was really good seeing him back in a race car and an A-Mod there Friday night. And that first heat race, we were all watching it, and Tony called it. He's like, Stovall's going to straight away him. I'm like, dude, I was like, there is a lot of really good cars in here. He is not going to straight away these guys. I was like, it ain't happening. He goes, yeah. He goes, watch him. He's like, you're forgetting how good he is in a mod. And I'm like, all right. And I was. And he straight awayed him and took him to the woodshed. And then I don't know what happened. Right rear dug in or something happened, just a freak deal. And he went for a pretty violent flip there. And, he's dealt with a lot of head injuries and a lot of things like that over the years. And, just hope he's doing all right. I sent him a message. He said he's doing okay. And just, but praying for him. And, he's, Jesse's a legend and a heck of a race car driver, and had a really bad wreck there at I-80 at 2018, or right there when he was just in the peak of his career. And I think, there's been a lot of advancements made in head injuries and in our seats even since then. And I think, sometimes you flip and things happen, and racing is not safe. It's no matter how much we lie to ourselves and tell ourselves it's safe, it is a dangerous sport. That's why it's fun. And that's why there's however many thousands of people that were around at Springfield on Saturday, but you just hate to see that happen. But really thinking about him and keeping him in our thoughts and prayers.
Talking about the modifieds, Waylon Dimmitt of Camderton, he won the B-Mod feature.
Brand new
at the Turkey
J2
Bowl.
car, and really did a really good job and a big win for him. And pretty cool. You watched and see, the J2 cars. Simon was in a J2 car in the Midwest Mod A class. That's a B-Mod J2 car. They did really well.
Chris Jackson finished third.
Yeah. So, and come from the back and just did a really good job. Huge shout out to Carter Jackson. Man, he was doing so good, and he was getting ready to win a turkey in the Midwest Mod B class, and really his first year really racing full time. And man, I was so proud of him. He just made some really good moves and had to take the chance that he did, and got caught between the leader and the lap car, and he led the lap, was in the lead, and man, got shipped off the end of the racetrack. Just a racing deal. Nobody did it on purpose. Just hard racing. It is what it is. And you got to make mistakes to get better. But Larry Phillips always said you can't pull a chain. You can pull them back. You know what I mean? But you don't want to. You can always pull them back a little bit. You want to have somebody that's just in the fuel and on it. And Carter's really gotten smooth, aggressive, and making the right moves that he needs to make. So. He had a great weekend, and I know he's upset. He had tore up a race car, and you hate that. But man, just to see the job he did, it was pretty awesome to watch. And good news for him is his grandpa's got a frame machine, so he'll be all right.
So you finished the dirt season in pretty good fashion. Sounds like you feel like you found something in the car.
Yep.
Here in the late going. So that should instill a little confidence going forward.
It does. Just trying to figure out 2026 MLRAs, obviously, where we're gonna, if we run a schedule, or a series, that would be what we're going to do, for sure. Just waiting to see what their schedule looks like completely, but very excited about that. Ernie's just a great guy to race for, and that they got, I know we're going to be racing around home, and so. I'm hearing some Mars races may come this way as well. So going to, well, that means a pick and choose schedule or a, follow a series, one or the other. But, try to not, not race 6 hours from home every weekend. So wanting to be home and closer to home, and this opportunity is going to be there. So we'll still hit some bigger races up, and I feel like you got to race to get better, and you got to go somewhere where, we'll look at going somewhere early in the season as well. And then decide what we're going to do on the pavement side of things too, and blend everything together and make it work. So see what happens.
Pavement schedules come together yet, or are they still pending?
They're still pending. I know I-44 is getting close on their schedule. There's some ASA schedule is out, and we'll check that out too, and kind of see if any of those make sense, or if all of it, or what. PRI is coming up, sponsorship, we got to get sponsorship, you got to get partners to come on board to decide to help you do anything really. So we're, looking at those opportunities that we have, and, trying to decide on what to do for 2026 that, really makes sense for our program. But, usually PRI is the week after the Dome. And so when PRI comes out, it's the week after Snowball Derby and the Dome this year. But, when PRI comes out, the schedules are out. And at that point, usually you can kind of get an idea right before PRI of what you're wanting to do. And that way, when you go to PRI, you're set and have your plans set to, we got a lot of partners, product partners at PRI that help us out just tremendously. Couldn't do this without them. So, get with them and make some deals there and get ready for 2026. A lot of stuff going on though. Just, there's a lot of preparation got to happen now in the next 2 months.
You feel this year's been a pretty good period for growth for you as a race driver, ups and downs, a lot of downs that you had to rebound from,
yeah.
and also considering the competition in the Mars series, you were up against the best on a consistent basis all season long.
Yeah, I feel like almost like, we got to get out front and dominate a heat race at Turkey Bowl that I think maybe surprised some people. I felt like we should win that race. We better win that race. And I think it shocked some people, and that's okay. And I think a lot of that is because you race harder competition, and you knew, we went to Illinois and raced those guys at their home tracks, which is tough. I mean, they're really good, and it don't matter if they're here, they're tough. But we got a pretty good crew established. It's solid now. We had a lot of changes in the pit crew early in the year, and to be honest, it really, in my opinion, hurt us more than anything. That and not knowing the racetracks we're going to. But, in the end, finding a good baseline and getting, I feel like a program built for 2026 was vital and the most critical thing we had to do. And I really feel like we were able to do that this year. So pretty happy with that overall, and not happy with my results from the season from, March to October, but or probably April to October. Really, March we were pretty decent there, but we got off a little bit, and when we got back on, there was times we showed good signs, and then just things would happen. But overall, it was a okay season. Just a lot of learning and a lot of hard work to go into 2026. I mean, that starts now, and we're getting a car ready, obviously, for the Dome for Kyle. As soon as that's over, we'll decide on if we're going to do a developmental program with TJR, with some other drivers looking for opportunities to race a little bit, and with our team and with our two teams combined, just somebody could get in a car that's capable of winning races and get some late model experience under the belt. So looking at that, and really looking at what we're going to do, to get our program better, because obviously we're not where we want to be yet, but we're making progress. So probably 2 weeks worth of work just on the trailer and the hauler, just getting it completely cleaned out, take everything out of the hauler, clean it, rebuild, get everything rebuilt, get all your spares rebuilt. There is no off season anymore in racing, but you got to take advantage of the downtime you get.
Very good. Well, glad you had an enjoyable Turkey Bowl experience, and we'll get an update next week as we go forward in late November.
Yeah, looking forward to next week, and looking forward to some guests coming in the studio and having some fun with that. And had a lot of fun with Kyle on, and a lot of off-season stuff that'll be fun to do over the winter. So looking forward to that, and appreciate all your help all year.
Thanks for joining us for the BW3 podcast, brought to you by Schaefer's Oil.